Cam Ward is guaranteed to be a New York Football Giant. That is what former University of Miami football booster has said, on top of saying that Deion Sanders will not let the Giants select his son, Shedeur Sanders. We're going to react to all of that here on Giants Now by Chat Sports. But first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Go down right now and smash that sub button and join 61,000 strong. We put out free, informative, entertaining updates every day on the Giants, and we need your help to get to our next goal. So I need 780 diehard Giants fans to subscribe to the channel right now. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. The rumors circulating around the New York Football Giants right now, they're juicy. They are wild. They are saying that it is guaranteed that the New York Giants are going to draft Cam Ward. Shedeur Sanders and his dad don't want to be a Giant, and there is a lot to break down. So let's go right into the quote from Nevin Shapiro. Who is Nevin Shapiro? We'll break that down. He was on the Pac-Man Jones show and said, "I'm being told through reliable sources Cam Ward is going to the New York Giants. Guaranteed. And the University of Miami's offensive coordinator is going with him, Shannon Dawson. I'm telling you, holler at me at April 25th or 26th or whenever the draft is." And you, like me, probably have the same reaction. Who the hell is Nevin Shapiro? And I asked myself, who the hell is Nevin Shapiro? And I started to think a little bit, and the gears inside my head started to circulate a little bit. And I said, I've heard that name before. And I've heard him connected to the University of Miami before. He is known as the biggest booster in college football history. And he may have not done it all that legally. He is a convicted felon who received a 20-year prison sentence for orchestrating a $930 million Ponzi scheme. According to interviews, he allegedly engaged in rampant violations of NCAA rules over 8 years as a booster for the University of Miami athletes. Shapiro allegedly provided football players cash, goods, prostitutes, and assorted favors. To date, 72 University of Miami football players are alleged by Shapiro to have received impressible benefits from him between 2002 and 2010, including Vince Wilfork, John Beeson, Antrell Roll, Devin Hester, Willis McGahee, and the late Sean Taylor. So if there is anyone that has tapped into the University of Miami football program, it is Nevin Shapiro. We remember watching those 30 for 30s on the University of Miami. And look, am I going to come out here and say what he is saying is absolutely true? No. Am I going to shoot it down? Absolutely not. Because I do think that he is plugged in. And I do think somebody told him that. The question is, who told him that, and how trustworthy and how really plugged in is that person? How important is that person? He also went on to say this, which I thought was really interesting. I'm going to tell you, from what's been shared with me, Deion won't let his kid go to the Giants. So whether Shedeur is the better quarterback or not, that's not for me to decide. Deion is not letting his kid go to New York. He wants him on the Raiders. The Giants are taking Cam Ward. And this is from real, I can't tell you who, I'm just telling you, a reliable source. All I know is this offseason is going to be electric for the New York Football Giants. Maybe a new head coach. Maybe a new general manager, drafting a quarterback in the first round, and it's either Shedeur Sanders and it's either Cam Ward. It is going to be a juicy one. I can say this for a fact, though. People have told Chat Sports that Deion Sanders wants his son to be a Raider. We could say that. I can also say this. Mitchell Renz, the host of the Raiders Report here at Chat Sports, he posted 2 reels on his Instagram account. One titled, Deion Sanders confirms he wants Shedeur Sanders to be a Raider, and the other one, Deion Sanders wants Shedeur to be a Raider. And as you see at the bottom of the screen, Deion Sanders liked both of those Instagram posts. I think you can connect the dots on those. I do also know the Giants have been heavily scouting Shedeur Sanders. We've talked about that at length here on this channel. They have sent scouts to 3 games. Joe Schoen has seen 2 in person. The Giants were just at practice at the Colorado football facility just a couple weeks ago. They were also there in October. So they have done and are doing their homework on Shedeur Sanders. Do I think that the Giants would still go out and scout him if the Sanders family and Deion said, don't draft my kid? No. So I'm not so sure that Deion has said that. So let's kind of put a bow on that. I do think Deion would let Shedeur go to the New York Giants. It's the New York Giants, the number 1 media capital, special sports media capital in the world. But we'll listen to Nevin on this one. Not saying it's true or false. We'll just go along with that storyline. Let's talk about the quarterbacks, though, because I want to figure out which is the better guy and which is the more likely fit. I think there's about a 99.9% chance either Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders is going to be a New York football Giant. And I right now at this moment, and have all college football season long, have had Cam Ward at that QB1 spot with Shedeur Sanders at that QB2 spot. And it sounds like the Giants are going to be in striking distance to select either of those players. ESPN every week, due to their football power index, puts out a simulation. And right now, they have the Giants with a 41% chance to earn the number 1 overall pick, a 90.5% chance to earn a top 5 pick, and a 99.9% chance to earn a top 10 pick. Through 20,000 simulations, the Giants' average draft position was 2.6. They are going to be on the clock with a potential to select Sanders or Ward when they are still on the board. Look, and I love the idea of bringing Cam's offensive coordinator with him, Shannon Dawson. That's a new wrinkle that we haven't really heard about. Maybe bring him with him. And I like that. I want the job. Whoever does it, whether it's Joe Schoen, whether it's someone else, I want the general manager to do whatever he can do to make sure the quarterback that you select in this upcoming draft has the most stability, the most landing spot, friendly spot for a rookie quarterback. Do whatever you have to do to make sure that guy has success. And if Ward wants that OC to come with him, if Ward likes that guy and he wants to play for him, go and do it. Who is he, though? Who is Mr. Shannon Dawson? Well, right now, he is the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach for Miami. He's been there since 2023. The prior year, he was the OC and quarterback coach for the University of Houston. He was also the passing game coordinator and QB coach for Houston in 2020. And prior to that, he was the tight end coach for Houston. You see all the stops the rest of the way. Southern Miss, OC wide receiver coach, Kentucky, OC QB coach, West Virginia, OC QB coach and wide receiver coach, as well as wide receiver, Stephen F. Austin, and all the other stops along the way. Do I think that he's worthy of an NFL offensive coordinator job? Maybe. He's done a good job with Cam Ward, and he's continued to progress with him. If Cam thinks that that's the guy that's going to help him have the most success, and the Giants think that, I'm all aboard on that train as well. I want to ask this question, though, before we go any further on today's video. Who would you rather have as the next signal caller for Big Blue? Is it Shedeur? Is it Cam? Type S, type C. Let me know. Coming up next, Cam Ward versus Shedeur Sanders. We're going to go piece by piece and brick by brick, and we're going to compare these guys from every single angle, and we're going to try to figure out who's the right guy for Big Blue. Maybe both are, and that would be an awesome situation. But everybody has a preference, and I'll tell you why I believe Cam Ward is the better quarterback for this team. First, though, I got to give a major shout-out to our sponsor of today's show, the number 1 ticketing app in the game, and that is GameTime. So download the app, create an account, and use that promo code ChatSports. That's ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. GameTime is the only ticketing app I use because you get the best seats for the lowest prices guaranteed. You get to see your seat view in the app. It's really easy to decide which tickets you want to buy. You get to access your tickets from your phone, so it's very easy to get into the stadiums. And it's easy to resell your tickets as well if you no longer want to go to the event that you bought the tickets for. Last-minute tickets and flash deals. Views from the seats and lowest price guaranteed. I got an alert, a push notification from GameTime Sunday morning telling me, Marshall, we've got a super deal going on. You can go sit lower bowl for $37 for Saints versus Giants. Nobody wanted to go. But that's why I love the app, man. It lets you know when the best deals are going on. And if you put the promo code on top of that, you could have went and sat lower bowl at MetLife Stadium for $17. So download the app, create an account, and make sure to use that promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. All righty. Cam Ward versus Shedeur Sanders. Who's the better player? Who do I want the Giants to pick and why? I'll say this. I would be happy with either of these young men being the next signal caller for this once proud organization. I really do think both can succeed in the National Football League if they go to the right spot, they're coached by the right guys, and you build around them. So often, it is more about landing spot than actual QB talent. Look at Bo Nix, for example. Nobody had him as a top QB5 in this class. And he looks pretty dang good right now with Sean Payton in Denver. It's so important to make sure you have to almost put in more work after you draft him than before you draft him. You have to make sure they're in a spot to be successful. Let's start with Cam Ward. 6'2", 223 pounds. I bet at the combine, he's closer to 6'1.5" and about 225, 230 pounds. He definitely is a bigger quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. That is obvious when you look at the tape, when you look at him, and they have multiple workout videos together, and you could just see it. Cam Ward is a little bit just bigger and stronger and more built of a prospect. They also have Shedeur Sanders as 6'2", 215 pounds. He's a little bit slighter, a little bit thinner, a little bit more small, like just calling it what it is. He's a little bit lighter. I don't think you could pick a quarterback off who weighs more or not, but we're just comparing these two from every single angle. Shedeur, a little bit smaller of a player compared to Cam Ward, who I think has a little bit more size on him. They'll both come in about 6'1" to 6'2", maybe somewhere in between at the NFL Combine. Overall, the counting numbers are very similar. The completion percentage points to the side of Shedeur Sanders, 74.2% compared to 67.4%. Passing yards lean the way of Cam Ward a little bit more, 4,100 compared to 3,900. 36 touchdowns compared to 35 touchdowns. 7 interceptions compared to 8 interceptions. But this is where the discrepancy starts to creep in. Big time throw percentage. About 6% of Cam Ward's throws this year are considered big time throws, whereas 5.3 are considered that for Shedeur Sanders. Maybe the biggest difference, turnover-worthy plays. Who takes better care of the football? I think that arrow points to Shedeur Sanders. Only 1.1% of his throws this year compared to 2.8 for Cam Ward were deemed turnover-worthy. Some advanced stats I want to look at on today's show. Adjusted completion percentage. This factors in drops and other external factors. Still points to the arrow of Shedeur Sanders. 82.7% is actually an incredible number for adjusted completion percentage. It's one of the higher numbers in recent college football history. But Cam Ward at 76.5 is a really high number, especially when you factor in the ADOT, the average depth of target. How far on average are you actually throwing the ball past the line of scrimmage? 10 yards for Cam Ward, 8 yards for Shedeur Sanders. I want to talk about this, though, stats under pressure, because I think that is a direct indicator of how a player can compete in the NFL. Both these guys are going to go to teams that are probably pretty bad. Probably don't have a great offensive line. How do you thrive under pressure? A 50% completion percentage under pressure for Cam Ward compared to 53.7% for Shedeur Sanders. Sanders' completion percentage, it falls off a cliff under pressure. Cam Ward, it stays somewhat the same. You saw the other stats as well at the bottom of the screen. I also want to talk about 20-plus air yard throws. How good are you when it comes to throwing the ball down the field? When you want to take a shot, how good are you? Both these guys are very comparable. Mid-40s when it comes to completion percentage. Adjusted completion percentage actually favors Cam Ward a little bit, but the big-time throw percentage, arrow points heavily to Cam Ward. The turnover-worthy play percentage, though, 0.0% for Shedeur Sanders. He has not put the ball in harm's way when throwing the ball 20-plus air yards down the field, and it's a 16% attempt percentage of 20-plus yards for Cam Ward and 15 for Shedeur Sanders, so about the same sample size there. Overall, when you stack everything up, you look at arm talent, you look at decision-making, you look at accuracy, you look at playmaking, you look at leadership. I think arm talent goes towards Cam Ward. I think he has a bigger arm. I think he can make more plays strictly with arm talent. I think he layers the football a little bit better, and I think he can pull a rabbit out of his hat due to that a little bit more. Decision-making. I think Shedeur Sanders is a better decision-maker for sure. I think he takes better care of the ball. And I think he's a little bit more accurate, especially when it comes to ball placement. That's an area that Cam Ward needs to improve. I think he misses a couple or too many layup type of throws. That can be improved, though. But when it comes to playmaking, I like Cam Ward outside the pocket. I think he makes more explosive plays happen for his team outside of structure and leadership. Leadership. I'm going to go with Cam Ward. He was a team captain at Wazoo. He was a team captain at Miami. He has turned around the Hurricanes, and I just like what he's got in between the years a little bit more, and I think I like what he has here. Look, it comes down to this. What do you want in the next quarterback? Both these guys have every attribute and every tool to be successful at the next level. What do you want, though? Do you want an on-time, on-target, playing within structure, take care of the football, extremely accurate and top ball placement? Or do you want a guy that's an improviser or a creator and a gamer that can take a play where maybe you're supposed to be sacked in the pocket, you run out of the pocket, and you hit Malik Neighbors 70 yards down the field? Do you want more of a guy like maybe a young Patrick Mahomes? Or maybe a guy that's a little bit more like Jared Goff? Because I do think those are what we have. We got a guy that's great within structure in Shedeur Sanders, and we got a guy that can make explosive plays for your football team when they're not exactly called within that play sheet. Look, I don't care who it is at this point. I obviously have a preference for Cam Ward, but I also like Shedeur Sanders. And the more tape I watch on him, the more that I fall in love with the prospect. I'm cool with either. I'm just ready to root for the next Giants quarterback. And I think both these guys can be successful. So the moves after you select that quarterback will be more important than the one that you actually select. Got to build a team around him. Got to have the tools. Got to have a coordinator. And you got to have a vision. And hopefully you have the right people in position of power to continue or really start to direct this franchise in the right winning direction. If you want the Giants to draft a new quarterback, though, hit that thumbs up icon. There's been a lot of people telling me, Marshall, we got to kick the can down the road. We got to wait for Arch Manning, who we haven't even seen playing a full college football season yet. If you want him to draft a QB in 2025, hit that thumbs up icon and make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. We could talk more about this crazy, crazy story. Hit me up and let's go Big Blue.